welcome to Talk of the Town. My name's Karen Bukes and I welcome you. We have a wonderful show tonight. I'd like to thank PAC TV for this new lighting. We got fabulous reviews last week, and I should say PAC TV did, and I thank them for it. Okay, let's welcome some of our underwriters. Jeff Cohen, One Stop Painting. Jeff is a great guy. He has a wonderful company. Brewster, PC Solutions, great show wrestling has here on PAC TV. Attorney Trifletti and Costa on Long Pond Road. And another wonderful underwriter, actually our first underwriter, David and Kevin Gallerani, owners of Cape Auto and Cape Service. Locations are Samoset and Sandwich Streets right here in Plymouth. Now tonight we have two segments. In the first half hour you will meet two wonderful people who go above and beyond for the town they love so much. One currently sits on the Plymouth Education Foundation Board. He also served the town for many years as the Finance and Advisory Chairman and served proudly as one of our Plymouth Selectmen. With him tonight is another fine guest. She is a loyal, hard-working Plymouth School Committee member. Please welcome Michelle Badger and Anthony Shenna.
Karen, how are you?
How are you? Thank you so much for being on, and I love the topic that we're going to talk about, but first let's start off with Michelle. Give us a little bit about your background.
Well, I went through the Plymouth schools myself and graduated in 2002. I went to college in Virginia, a small women's college at Sweetbriar College, graduated in 2006, and then came back to Plymouth to get some grad work done in Boston, and I have 2 master's degrees, and now I'm on the Plymouth School Committee, which is wonderful. It's been a great experience.
Yes, it's a wonderful school committee, let me tell you.
It is.
And you serve with?
I serve with Chairman Dennis Bagley. We have our secretary, Mary Waltuck, and we have Margie Burgess, Deb Betts, Kim Hunt, and we also have Dr. Sorensen.
Right, and I absolutely adore them all, but I adore Dennis Begley.
He's great.
He's fabulous chair.
The group is good. We have a good group.
You do a lot of hard work. And Anthony, so many of us knew you back when, and give us an update. I know your family is still growing.
Sure. Yeah, when I started, I had 2 children while I served on the Finance Committee, and now I have 5. One who is actually headed off to college next year. He's headed to Northeastern. So we're very excited about that. Yep.
You don't look old enough.
I feel old enough, Karen. I feel old enough. But the kids are great, very busy with sports, and the reason I left the board was to spend more time with them and be sure that I didn't miss these years. And that's what I've been doing. My wife and I are really enjoying the time together and enjoying the children.
I met one of your sons. He was real little when they were building the Habitat house. Yes. He came over with his grandfather.
Oh.
Yes.
And what an engaging boy he is. He was a delight.
So I always joke he takes after his mother. Thank goodness. He is. He's a great kid. He's been really engaged. A lot of people know him from the newspapers, where he had a great football season, where the Plymouth South went to Gillette Stadium.
Yeah.
And he had a great wrestling career. He just went to All States this year.
That's where I saw him.
So he's had a really good experience at Plymouth South High School, and it's been wonderful for us to watch.
That's great, because you were famous.
Well, I don't know about that, but I enjoyed my time and
was
fortunate.
Now, the both of you are here to speak about the Plymouth Alumni Association. Now, a lot of people don't know about this, and since this show goes to many, many towns, it's a good thing that you get your word out. Please tell us about it and how this all started.
Sure. So as part of the Plymouth Education Foundation, which we can talk a little bit about, we really realized that we had an enormous amount of untapped resource with all of the alumni that Plymouth has. And what we really decided to do with Michelle's experience with working with alumni through Mass Maritime is start an association of Plymouth alumni to really bring them together and to help our current students with looking at career opportunities, looking at what colleges they'd like to go to, really just bringing together the alumni that have gone through the Plymouth school systems to share their experiences, to go to events together. It's not something that's common at the high school level. Most of us know alumni associations through the college level, but we really think it's an important piece for Plymouth, given our size and our long history, to have an association where alumni can really interact with one another.
That's great, and you both decided to get fully involved, and it's an enormous task. Do you have a secretary?
We do.
Yes, we do. We're very lucky. Kim Hunt is our secretary, so she takes our notes for us. We also have Russ, who does our communications, so we have that beautiful new website, PlymouthAlumni.net, that he has put together, and you can go and you can register, let us know a lot about you, what you did in the school system. So did you play field hockey? Were you, a class president, or what were you doing? Are you a class president now? Where do you work? And so it's our way of really, we've got great people in those chairs to get our communication and our outreach.
Your list must be enormous, and it's going to grow. And the resources that you're going to need is going to take some doing. And that's why I was so happy to hear you with the Plymouth Education Foundation. I mean, you sit on the board, Anthony. They do some wonderful work. Tell us about that, how that could work hand in hand.
Yeah, so the Education Foundation is really the nonprofit organization that is tasked with being the fundraising arm for the school. It's a charitable organization, so contributions are tax deductible. Our largest fundraising event is the Valentine's Day Gala, which has been a tremendous success. Nicole Manfredi runs that gala for the Education Foundation. And what we're looking to do from the Education Foundation is to really create awareness about the schools and what their needs are, and then it's a grant process. So if you are interested in getting money to do something related to education in the town of Plymouth, the Education Foundation is a great place to start. You submit a grant, and then twice a year we basically give money to those grants. We're always looking for people to get involved, both with the Education Foundation and the Alumni Association, to basically do good work in Plymouth for education, and to just make people proud of what's going on in Plymouth.
I like that too. I saw that on the web page, that pride is everything, and the Plymouth schools have it. Between the students and the teachers and the staff, I don't think you could ask for a better community of schools right here in Plymouth. It's a wonderful place to send your children. But this is a huge endeavor. Where do you see yourself in a year, in 10 years?
It's funny you mentioned that. We've only just started. I mean, we're probably 8 months. It was warm when we started this process. And we're just getting to there again. So we're just in the beginning stages of where we see ourselves going in the next year, the next 5 years, the next 3 years. That's actually something that Anthony and I were just talking about, creating a document that says, where do we want to go? Right now, our big thing is building up our database, getting more people to register so that we know that you went through the Plymouth school system. Unfortunately, and I always say this in my line of work that I do to my students, people seem to think that you leave a college or you leave a high school and somehow we implant some sort of device that tracks you, so we always know where you go and we always know what you do. Unfortunately, that's not correct. So we just need to get our message out so more and more people come and register, and that way we can we can see where we want it to go. But our number one thing right now is making sure that we are a resource to the schools. So we're here to, co-ops, careers, and college. How can we help to our students be ready for those things? How can our alumni be mentors and help with, have our alumni gone to a college that we have students that want to go to. I mean, I know the two of us, anybody would love to talk to students who are interested. So
That'd
it's
be great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think our vision is that we have a database. Right now, there's about 400 individual alum that have signed up. And like you said, we haven't been at it very long, but hopefully that's in the tens of thousands at some point. And then you can see that somebody, a senior at North or at South, would like to look at Northeastern as an example. And guidance can come to the Alumni Association and say, hey, give us the list of everyone who went to Northeastern in the last 3 years.
Excellent.
And those kids could contact those individuals and say, hey, we'd just like a little information. Or the co-op at both North and South. If we have electricians that are graduating and we have alumni that have businesses in and around Plymouth, for that connection to really be made.
Mentoring.
Yeah, and mentoring is a big part of what this is. So as we look out, when people ask us, well, what do I have to do to get involved with the Alumni Association? First, we just want to know where you are and what you do. Give us some background. And then be willing to connect with students and other alumni to help build Plymouth and help the pride of what's going on in Plymouth. If we can do that, I think we'd say it's a success.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love the idea of the mentoring. I really do. Right here in the Plymouth businesses.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, so one of the things we found out is that Plymouth South is actually looking for mentors right now. So anybody watching the program know that Plymouth South looks for mentors every single year. And I'm not sure if North is doing a similar thing.
It's the tech portion of the school system looks for the vocational aspect. So you've got the vocational things at North and South. So both of them need contacts and co-ops and opportunities for internships for their students.
Well, there's strength in numbers, and I can see that taking off. That's a real solid foundation there, because you'll be helping the businesses here too. You know, that's pride.
Absolutely. And I think we found out yesterday that of our 300 or 400 current members, about 19 or 20 of them are actually business owners in Plymouth. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Really terrific.
And there's even more out there.
Yeah, there are.
Well, as big as Plymouth is, I always joke, it's such a small town, and when you may go away for a little while, but you tend to come back. And that's what makes Plymouth pretty special.
The roots, and it's true, Anthony. When you move from Plymouth, you move to Plymouth.
That's right.
Very true.
It happens 9 times out of 10. I can't get over it.
Yeah.
But I can see now. One of the things that you have to do is raising money, but you're not concentrating on that right now.
No, I don't think the Alumni Association is ready for that. Right.
Yeah.
I think at some point you could see a mailing that says, would you be interested in donating to the education of Plymouth?
Yeah.
But for now, we really just want to build up that database. We want people engaged. We want people involved. We want to start to really help the school systems with the things that they need from the alumni. And we've met with all the guidance counselors, the principals. We've met with
Dr. Maestas.
Dr. Maestas.
He must have been thrilled.
Oh yeah. Well, part of it is his brainchild, because along with the Education Foundation seeing that we need an alumni association, when we had the last lap at North, he was had the forethought to put together that website that we have now, and made it a just go on and put your information in. So we have the people who went to the last lap, and we were able to take that information and make that website kind of a little bit more interactive.
He's an amazing man. I respect him so much.
He is. And one of the great things he's doing is the Voyager magazine.
Yes.
If you're not familiar with the Voyager, it's a great magazine that the school department is putting out to basically build awareness of some of the great things going on.
I was going to ask you, do they have a magazine? Now, where can you get that magazine?
I believe it's either, there's a small number of people that it gets mailed to, but you can actually just go to central office and pick up them. And I think they have some at Town Hall as well, but they're not kept all over the place. I mean, right now the budget obviously is covered. I think the Education Foundation covers some of it.
Nope, I think through the school department,
we could think of,
there's ways
places to place them, appropriate places. Even at the museum, perhaps.
Sure.
You know.
And it's only in its second. The one that's coming out fairly soon is only its second
edition.
So.
Now, who did the logo?
we were really lucky that when we were talking with our first meeting that we had with the two principals, it was like, we haven't branded ourselves and we have a fabulous marketing program for our students. We wanted to see if we could get our students involved. And we were really lucky that a young man from Plymouth South, Kyle Richards, class of 2014, created our logo for us, and he has been nothing but helpful whenever we ask him to do anything. It's beautiful.
And I would just add to that, the co-op at South has been great. Jim Hanna and the marketing department, they've allowed us to have a banner that we go to with when North-South played each other on Thanksgiving. We were there with a table and a banner. They've given us cards that we've handed out at town meeting. So just the information, people have the information, and that all was done through the co-op at school at the vocation tech.
You're on a roll. I mean, it takes time and it takes help, the community, but this is a community that takes the hands of others and helps. I've seen it happen over and over again. Now, any activities, maybe you haven't even thought about it, incentives, activities for the alumni?
So that's next on the list. Now that
was our discussion last night.
You should be on the committee.
Would you like to be on there?
But that's right. We'd like to have some activities that people are interested in. This Friday, there's a survey going out for the Alumni Association through Russ and through the people that have signed up, and Facebook, which you can find us on. Oh,
you can, because I was going to ask you, and that should be shared. Anything that goes up on that page sent out should be shared by all of us here in Plymouth.
That would be wonderful.
It'd be great.
That would be wonderful. It's the Plymouth Public Schools Alumni Association, so you can easily find us that way. But the survey is going out to find out what are alumni interested in doing. What do they really want to be part of? Everybody's really busy. We completely understand that. But we would like to do things where we get alumni together to talk, to discuss, and we want feedback on what they'd be interested in doing.
Well, maybe a couple of forums, or at least one forum a year, but then a huge picnic.
That would be great.
Wouldn't that be great?
Absolutely.
That would be fun.
We'd like to start holding some of our alumni meetings at maybe some of the local restaurants
that
to
are
build some
owned by
awareness.
alumni.
So we're open to ideas and
that.
suggestions, and would love to have people get involved. And anything that's going to bring people in would be fine by us.
Visit the steering committees.
We could do that.
Get on the agenda of, when it's convenient for them and yourself. And, the word will get out there.
We're right in that stage right now where we're ready and to go forward and talk to people. Before, we were kind of like, what are we? It was just the creating of our mission, figuring out where we want to go and all of that. And now we feel like we kind of have a solid understanding of that. So.
And one of the other things that's created a lot of buzz is the alumni corner in the Old Colony Memorial.
Oh, yes.
We've done 4 individuals, which has been great. A lot of people have seen the write-ups. Tara.
Say that again. It's in the Old Colony.
So in the Old Colony, it's twice a week. It's
Wednesday and Saturday.
Twice a month. Twice a month it gets put in. And we select an alumni, and we have Tara Wolmer, who does the writing for us, writes up an article, great picture, and get to learn a lot about some pretty interesting alumni that have done some great things.
That's true, Anthony, Michelle. There are some, not that we're all not, but there's been some great people that have gone out into the world and are still right here in Plymouth doing wonderful things. And they do it quietly.
They do. And Karen, what we've found through this is there are some great stories of Plymouth alumni that either have stayed or all around the world. I mean, we literally have people that are from all around the world that have signed up. There really are some terrific stories of what people have done that have gone through the Plymouth school systems. And not only that, but how connected they are to what happened to them in Plymouth, whether it was teachers that they experienced or coaches or just the general. Really has been terrific for us to get to know some of these people through their stories.
Awesome.
Ken puts this up on Facebook, and the full show goes on Twitter. So when it goes on Facebook, we get hits from England and Spain and Mexico,
That's awesome.
and all over.
Small world.
So just tell your people, and it gets out there and it gets shared. So it goes everywhere. And this is such a great endeavor. Now, you know, and we're going to come back to this before you leave. Michelle, you're running for a seat on the school committee.
Yes.
You're up for re-election.
I am.
I see no problem.
Thank you. No one's really running against me yet.
Well, you know, even if you did, Michelle, you've done some wonderful things on that
well,
school.
thank you.
Work well with your
We've got a great
partners
group.
there, a great group. And I know that you care deeply about it. So, election is Saturday, May 10th, and it's important. And gosh, you know, it's so hard getting people out, but we have to, you know.
And your local elections are the most important elections.
Yeah, they are. What does the future hold for Plymouth schools?
Oh, geez, we're going nowhere but up. Like, it's the things that we have Dr. Myastis with his vision, and I think he works really well. His administration, his team there at Central Office is wonderful. And then our school committee, you know, we've got a lot of doers on the committee who are willing to, you know, roll up your sleeves and just
100%.
do what needs to be done.
I know.
And, you know, we've got the new South coming down the line, which is very exciting. Having gone through that school myself, I can totally understand. You get the leaking roof, and you have the one classroom that's 90 degrees and one classroom that's 4 degrees. So it's very important that we're getting this done. And I mean, I just think we continue to cooperate, and with the town and with our community members. And Plymouth schools are just going to keep continuing to excel. It's fabulous where I can see us going with technology and everything.
And I try and catch you on Monday night.
Thank you.
You know, when between that and the planning board, I'm back and forth. You know, but you know, we also have a great select board.
Yes, we do.
And you work well together.
We do.
And I love our town manager. She's wonderful.
Great. She's great.
Wonderful. So, and I wish you the best, Michelle, in your election. And now I went to Kenny and I usually go to Florida in February. So we managed to go to one gala.
Yes.
I could not believe the festivities. These things that were on auction were awesome. These aren't just little boo-boo things. These were fabulous. And I think, Anthony, too, you bought half the place. But I know it takes a lot. Tell us about it. It's in February.
Yeah, we're very proud of the gala. It's been 4 years now of running the gala. We've had great success. It's been, as I said, our largest fundraiser. We typically raise north of $25,000 at the gala, so it's wonderful for the foundation. It's a lot of work, but I will tell you, everybody that we approach is very, very generous with what they give. We've been very, very lucky and fortunate to have such a great community to get behind what the Education Foundation is doing. Looking forward to it next year. I look forward to it every single year.
Yeah.
It's a great event. It's
really
a great place to
is.
go with your spouse. It's typically the week before Valentine's.
Yes.
And we have to deal a little bit with the school break and the snow. One year it was canceled and had to be moved. But even that was good. Yeah, 2 years ago. But it's a great event. It's open to the public. Please go to our website, look at when it is, and please come, because it's a wonderful time.
When it's time, I will have Bob back here, or whomever wants to come, Bob Betters. And tell us who's on the board, Anthony.
Sure. So the board actually is growing. Bob Betters is our president or chairman. Nicole Manfredi, Lauren Backen, Barry Haskell, the old school superintendent. He's trying to get off, but we're pressuring him to stay.
You don't let him.
He has institutional knowledge that is very hard to make up. Mark Garrett, Nancy Ciccarelli.
Oh, great, you asked Mark. I'm so happy.
Yes. Barry Young, Kathy Wallace is on the board as well. Sean Costa, Paul Vickery, and Susan Wentworth.
Very good.
So it's a great board.
Oh, Sue, I love
very diverse group of people.
Yeah, you've got workhorses there.
We do. We have a lot of worker bees.
Yes,
which is
and
great.
I love that, and that's a great group. But you know, Bob, I think we were his first gift to the schools, and he didn't even know what to do with the money at that time.
Yeah, you did the culinary arts scholarship.
Culinary arts.
Yeah, which was great.
It was great, and you know, it's one of those things that we need here in Plymouth because it helps our students, teachers, and schools, and it's another community. Now, Anthony, you know, I thought you were great on the Finance and Advisory. Would you run for office again?
You never say never, but as you know, I have young children, so I have one going off to college, but my other one is only in kindergarten, so I'm going to be very busy for a very long time. But you know, when I graduated from college, I didn't go into the service because I was married and I had children, and I felt the way to give back was to serve. And I served on the Finance Committee, and I served as a member of the Board of Selectmen, and that was how I paid back. Right. I think there will come a time when I owe the town another service. Right. When that is, or if, you know. You'll
know.
Right. And
you and your wife will know.
I try to stay busy with the Education Foundation and the Alumni Association. I coach my kids' sports, so I never say never, but it'll be a while before.
You have a full life, and I'm happy for you because from what I understand, you're a wonderful husband and father.
Well, thank you.
And that I know means the world to you.
It does.
So, and before we leave, we have your website up there. Tell the people again what this is going to mean for Plymouth.
So the Plymouth Alumni is really our attempt to just start to gather all the information of where our alumni are and how we can bring them together to really serve Plymouth. One of the things we want to focus on just before we go is I want to be sure that anybody who is having a reunion, we are a great source. We found through our discussions that everybody is scrambling for their reunions. They don't know how to get in touch with people. The more people that register for the reunions, the more presidents of classes or people who are in charge of their reunions, which we found are not always the class officers, get in touch with us. We can help probably more so than trying to go through some of the databases and Facebook. So definitely do that. The other thing I just wanted to mention is we want to try to help out 400 Plymouth. We want to try to help out the anniversary, and we think that if we have this in place over the next couple of years, we can pull all the resources for that as well.
Oh, that is a fabulous idea. I love that.
So we've been trying to get the information about that out to our alum and be sure that they're up to speed on it. But the more people we can get involved, the better it is, not only for the alumni, but also for the 400.
And our next meeting is May 21st at 6 o'clock at Plymouth South High School. So if you're interested,
can you send me that, Michelle, so I can announce it?
Yes, that'd be great.
On the show.
I can.
And I will tell the 4 alum that I sent through the schools.
Yeah, exactly. Get them to sign up.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you so much for having us, Kat.
Anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Wish you the best.
Thank you.
And you sit right here. We're going to have our second segment here. And stay tuned. I'll see you back on the other side. Oh, you did great.
Thank you.
You did.
Thank you so much.
Hello, I am Christopher Hart from the Nathan Hale Veterans Outreach Centers. We are committed to serving our veterans through free programs for veterans and their families. Our programs include transportation to and from the VA facilities in Brockton and Boston, a wellness program that offers arts, yoga, cycling, readjustment counseling, PTSD counseling, and a food pantry, and much, much more. If you would like to help or are in need of these services, please call us at 508-747-2003.
The Plymouth Antiquarian Society tells the story of everyday people in Plymouth after the Pilgrims. Explore 3 centuries of Plymouth history at our historic houses, open June through August. Every first Saturday of the month, we offer free history tours of Burial Hill, and throughout the year, we have special events and programs for all ages. For more information, visit our website at www.plymouthantiquariansociety.org. We invite you to explore the past with us.
Communities Mobilizing for Change on Alcohol, CMCA Plymouth, is an underage drinking prevention program of High Point Treatment Center funded by the Mass Department of Public Health. Too many teens are drinking alcohol, and parents, friends, brothers, sisters, and strangers are making it easy to get. If you want to help CMCA Plymouth reduce access and the availability of alcohol to youth under 21, contact us. Prevention saves lives.
Hello, we're back. Yes. Now, our next guest comes with caring and thoughtful characteristics that is admired by all. He carries himself with humility and has a sincere gratitude for the people he serves. His behavior as chair on the Board of Selectmen makes us proud that he is at the helm. Please welcome Matt Muratore.
How are you?
How are you?
Good to be back again. I'm back.
And you're on next week with
too,
Belinda. I know.
I'm sorry, folks.
No.
Apologize in advance.
No. Thank you for filling in.
Absolutely.
This was at the last minute, but you were so gracious. But I got to tell you, I did ask somebody else first.
Of course.
Are you mad?
Not at all. Not at all. I got to actually watch Anthony and Michelle, and
Yeah.
you know, they do some great work on that education foundation.
No
and,
joking.
And Michelle's wonderful in the school committee. Hit that right in the head. I'm so glad she's doing this again, and you know, just to see what Anthony has done since he's been selected,
Right.
and still being involved and still wanting to give back to the community. That's what it's all about. He's right on with that.
Well, you have people that their mentality, their personality, their character is about giving back.
Right.
And if that's ingrained in you, what happened, honey?
Nothing. Just keep going.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
have it ingrained, you're right. It's
Okay.
Just
Am I good? No, if you have that type of personality ingrained in you, you will give back. That's just part of your nature.
Yeah.
I mean,
And Anthony hit it right in the head. I mean, you know, yes, he's got a large family. I got a large family, but you know, you want to give back to the community. You want to show your kids about giving back to the community as well, because that's really
Right.
what's it all about.
oh, I'm sure Anthony will run someday, somewhere.
I hope he does. Yeah, great guy.
You know, John Moody too is a wonderful chairman, don't
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he really is. And Anthony was like that. He really knew his finance committee. He knew the finances of Plymouth, and he brought that on to the selectmen's
He's got a
board.
good way about him.
You know, you came from the finance committee.
Absolutely. Yep. It's a
I
great
think you have to.
It's a great start for everyone, and I know not everyone does, but I'll tell you, it helps with the learning curve.
Yeah.
Knowing the financial part, that helped me. That probably saved me a year or so once I became selectman, because I understood the financial impact on the town. Understand how the budgets worked.
You can know numbers. You can know your math and think you can run the town like a business. But you have to know how a municipality works.
Right, exactly.
And the budget works.
Exactly.
In order to get it done. I mean, you just can't bring these things out of thin air.
Right.
And it takes time. It has to go through the process. And you know.
Yeah, and you talk to people that were selectmen that didn't have that background. They struggled. They struggled when they first got on because of that learning curve. It's such a complicated process, that budget.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it took me, I'm a town meeting member, but it took me quite a while. I didn't say much for quite a while because it's a learning curve.
Absolutely. And I feel for some of the town meeting members that are newly elected, because they don't have a lot of that learning curve, and there's no wonder why there's not a lot of questions on the budget, because I don't know how you would actually go and try to find out about a lot of this stuff, except maybe trying to attend the finance committee meetings or watch them or whatever.
The resources are there, Matt. You have to either
reach out
pick
for 'em.
up
Yeah,
the
yeah.
phone or go
Yeah.
to a meeting,
Yeah.
and or watch it on TV. And even watching it on TV, it's not the same because you don't get the ambiance of the room.
Yeah, right.
And you can't ask a question.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. I actually, as you know, I host a show called Today in Plymouth.
Yes.
On the government channel.
What time is that on, by the way?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't.
It's on 3 or 4 times a week. But check your local.
Yeah.
Your local channel. You'll find the times.
Yeah.
But I did a show that's going to air in May with Nancy Richards and Dave Antoine here from PAC TV. And it was really talking about the reach that PAC TV has, and
yeah.
you know, they don't know the numbers, but if more people could watch PAC TV and watch shows like this, you know, watch the Selectmen's meeting, Finance Committee, they will get the information they need.
Yeah.
They just can't sit back and say, well, you know, I didn't know about that. Nobody told me about this. You got to be informed, and you got to go after it yourself. And I think this past town meeting was a good proof of that with the town meeting members. You know, one thing we asked the selectmen about the courthouse was we asked town meeting members to go out and ask the people that voted you in what they think about that. And I think I heard from more people that said, boy, it's the first time somebody has reached out to me as a taxpayer to ask me what I thought.
Yeah.
So, but that's the way it needs to go.
Oh, we got plenty of that.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and we get a lot of calls too. Kenny this time got more than I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did in the beginning. But then when the meals tax came in, my people calmed down. Kenny's group was still ratcheting.
Yeah.
So
that's right. You were both opposite on that, weren't you?
We were opposite. Yeah. But
I offered him a place to stay that night.
I know. I got calls of sympathy that night and the next day, but so did he. But I also, my town meeting members in my precinct asked me questions about the courthouse. And I saw them doing their homework.
Absolutely,
know.
yeah.
They do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I thought the majority of the people, their decisions were well thought out. Probably more so than any town meeting that I witnessed in the last 10 years.
Really?
As a majority of people, yeah. I think people are really engaged in this. And you know, it was more than just a courthouse as well. I mean, the whole thing with the animals and the elephants, I mean, that was really engaging for people. Yeah.
Which I knew right away what I was going to vote.
Yeah.
I'm against that.
Yeah.
As a kid, I didn't even like it. It's freaked me out. So
clowns used to freak me out. Yeah.
And, you know,
they should ban them.
So that was a given, and I knew that was going to just fly right through.
Yeah.
And it's you know, you can always get another charity to come in, and you know.
You can still have circuses too, just not with the animals. That's
not with the animals.
The big circus, I think the Big Apple Circus has, you know, you can do it without the animals.
No, I don't know if I should bring this up, but I'll tell you, there was one thing I was not pleased with on town meeting, and that was at the last minute, raise and appropriate $20,000. Wait.
Yeah.
So nothing was said to Precinct 7, where Manor met. Nothing was said to Precinct 6, to their rest of their town meeting members. And maybe the raise and appropriate happened at the last minute, but all day nothing was said of town meeting. And then to have the town meeting vote used as talking points in a very nasty letter was very upsetting to many town meeting members.
Yeah.
That won't happen again. And you don't have to say anything, Matt. And I know that it's quite a juggling act, but I want to say to you, thank you. I thank you, I thank JB, I thank Mike Gala for all the hard work that goes into this town. You do a wonderful job between our DPW and our staffs and everybody working together. It doesn't happen overnight. No. There are people waiting 10, 15 years for things to happen. Yeah. It's all about money.
I think that's the difficult part sometimes, is that the waiting part. And that's unfortunately, and for me being in business, it's tough. I like to make decisions and move on. But in municipalities, you learn there's a process to it.
Huge process.
And you know, there's that old saying, you get more with
Honey.
Yeah, with honey than sugar, yeah. And
with vinegar.
And you know, there's such truth into that. And you know, one thing you know we've talked about in the past is the guiding principles that we put together. It's about working together. There's ways to get things done.
Right.
You know, we as a board are looking at going back to your $20,000.
Yeah.
It's unorthodox to do that on town meeting floor, but you know what? That's what town meeting's about, and if they want to do that, that's their right to do it.
We didn't have time to think about it.
It sets well, then it probably shouldn't have voted, but it was.
Yeah.
But it does set up, you know, issues down the road that could happen as well. You could have every town meeting in the fall and next spring, and people out of the blue are going to bring something up. I think people need to really think about that before they're doing something like that. It's fine to bring it up, but it needs to be well thought through, and what the effects it has on, you know, not just that particular line item, but the entire budget, how that affects that. You know, the issue with Manomet, there's been issues down there for years. It's not being ignored. Cedarville, I mean, you could go everywhere.
West Plymouth.
And we're taking every area that we can. Just because, you know, they haven't got something at this point doesn't mean they never will. We were down there, four of the five selectmen were down there last night in Manomet walking around.
Who was that?
John and I, John Mahoney, myself, Belinda, and Tony Provenzano went down, and with Mike Galla, because we wanted to get a sense of, you know, what, you know, you can get a better sense when you actually visit a site to get an idea of what it looks like, what it's going to look like.
Yes, we live it.
Yeah, you live it all the time. We don't. So we need to get down to kind of see and kind of look at a game plan of what's being looked at. I know the Manomet Steering Committee is tomorrow night. I'm actually on vacation this week, but I'm actually going to go to that.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure, I want to see firsthand, hear firsthand, you know, what's going on. First of all, I want to make sure people are respectful of one another.
Absolutely.
Because I need to remind people of the guiding principles, and I will. That's my job as chairperson of the town of Plymouth, is to do that.
But I did notice on the agenda there's no public comment.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Can we speak?
If I need to speak, I'm going to ask to be. I'm going to ask, and you know, we appoint a lot of the members as well. So we need to be respectful of everybody. Yeah, everybody.
Right.
I mean, everyone does. You know, look at I met with a couple of members of the PRA this morning in my office to talk about the next step in the courthouse process.
Good.
And you know, and they had some, you know, real kind words to say about the process and my involvement in it and how we got there. Now, it took us a couple years to get that point.
Yeah.
But I think if people remember what it was like 2 years ago when the PRA had the property and what the dissension there was.
Yeah.
But by getting people to be respectful of one another was the first step. The next step was then communicating. Because if you're not respectful of one another, you'll never get to the communication part. And we talked about this before.
Right.
And so we were able to get to the respect part so that we were able to communicate, and then the results were at town meeting occurred because of all that.
Right.
And now we move forward from there. And the same thing needs to happen in Manomet or Cedarville or anywhere else we go.
Yeah.
There's a process to do these things. And yes, they take time. And I don't like it takes time either. But there is a process. Mike Galla's been working his butt off down in Manomet.
Has he ever?
For a short, you know, he's only been here just about a year now. But he's really taken that on. He's got a different eye because he wasn't in town all these years, so he can see a little bit differently. He knows what the funding is. He knows what we can do now, what we can do short term, what we can do long term. And you know, and that's the plan we're going to focus on. We're going to do what we think is the right thing to do down in Manomet with the input of a majority of the people. You know, you're never going to please everybody. Not everyone's going to be happy.
I mean,
but we've got a good idea of what needs to happen down there.
Good.
So we know where we need to go at this point.
I would never interfere on what the town decides. I mean, we brought it to a certain point. Now it's up to you.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to buck that.
Right.
You're, you know, whatever it is, it is.
And, you know, and like John always says, you know, we've been kicking the can down the road for a while. You know what? But now it's on our radar screen. Now we'll deal with it. And I think this board over the last 2 or 3 years, probably since you know, Chairman Halsey became chairman, we've always been tackling things that come up. That maybe they've been issues over the years. Or, you know, maybe there was a different way of solving things years ago. But you know,
there were.
we're taking each issue and we're tackling it and we're resolving it one way or another. And we know we're not going to make everyone happy, but we will get the input from people and we'll make a decision and we'll move on.
You know, Selectman Quinta was also thoughtful.
Absolutely.
But this board is very thoughtful board, and it's painful at times for you because you wrench yourselves thinking of the best ways to go about I know this. And for anyone to think that that doesn't happen is really sad.
Yeah. You know, and Selectman, you bring up Selectman Quintal. I mean, he, as chairman, he had such a big heart. And he wanted to try to help everyone in every way possible.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we get beat up for it. But you know what? As long as you can sleep at night and you know you made the best decision you possibly can.
Now, Matt, on a happy note, you're a candidate.
Yeah. You want to talk about that again?
Yeah, I do. I do, because I want you to win, Matt.
Thank you.
And
well, we're going to work hard at it.
You already are.
Yeah. We've been working hard at it for, going back to probably about October, November is when my wife and I started really talking about it, looking at it, and, you know, working with Representative DiMacedo, talking to him about it, and, you know, what's entailed in it and all that. And that we put together a really good team the first of this year, and I'm proud to say the website is now up and running as of today. So we have a website. It's mattmuratore.com. 2 T's in Matt, Muratore, MURATORE.com. So that's up and running now. We had our kickoff event is now going to happen on May 8th, so we got a team working on that. So that's out there now.
To that. Now, where is that?
That's going to be at the Plymouth Elks, and it's going to be 5:30 to 7:30.
Yeah.
As you know, we had to cancel it, you know, a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, of course, and that was the right thing to do, Matt. And everybody appreciated that. So May 8th at the Plymouth Elks on Long Pond Road.
5:30 to 7:30.
Everyone
is welcome. We want as many people there as we possibly can.
And it's
going to be great food. Stephen Coe is going to be the chef. Now, if you don't know Steve, I don't know. It'll be a surprise. If you don't know Stephen Coe, you will.
Yeah.
He's actually been hired as the executive chef at Mirbeau in the Pine Hills. So he's going to be in that whole complex will be opening sometime in June.
Yes.
So they're going to have I think a French bistro and another restaurant there, and he'll be the executive chef for the whole thing. So he's going to do the food for us.
Can I afford it?
He's gonna do the food for. I told him to make it simple, though.
Yes.
You know, I don't have a lot of money in my account, so you got to make it simple. But and then we got DJ Jean Dupuis, who plays around the different.
So now you're going to have music too.
We're going to have a DJ there with music. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So and we have a cake that's been ordered from the local on Standish Ave. I forget the name of the baker now.
Yes.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
Yeah. So we're going to have. We're going to just have a really good time. I mean, a lot of people don't know who I am, so we want people to come out. You know, I'll speak for a few minutes.
Yeah.
We have Peter Foreman. A lot of people know Peter Foreman. Peter Foreman will be there. He'll be introducing Vinnie DiMacedo.
Oh, very good.
And then Vinny will be introducing myself, and Selectman Provenzano will be the MC for the night. So we've got a whole program put together. So it'll be a fun night. Kids are welcome as well. All my kids will be there, so other kids want to come as well. It's a family event.
Tell everybody how many children you have.
I have 6 daughters. I was kidding with Anthony Shenna when he was leaving. He's only got 5 kids. He's a rookie. He's only got 5 kids. So
they're all girl. Oh my God!
Mine are all girls.
What is it in the household of the Muratore? You know, between your wife and the.
Yeah, well, you know, it keeps me humble.
Yeah, I bet.
I say yes a lot.
Yeah.
I shake my head a lot.
Yeah.
You learn over time that you kind of pick your battles. Being the only male in the household of 7 women, you kind of pick your battles, and you know. But it's a lot of fun because I have a couple of older girls as well, and they mix well with the younger ones.
Do you have a dog? I hope
No. You kid, we have enough trouble keeping track of all the kids. I don't mind having animals too.
Oh,
yeah.
You know,
but it's fun.
I saw you once in your big black car, and it was filled with children. Filled with children, and you were getting a movie for the kids. It must have been a Sunday. Yeah. This was a while back when you first became selectman, and they were adorable.
People say, what's your hobby? What's your hobby? I said, my hobby is actually spending time with my kids. I really enjoy it.
Did Kenny just say we have a phone call? Oh, hello, you're on Talk of the Town. Hello.
Hey, Charlie, how you doing?
Hey, Charlie.
I've got one request for the selectmen. If he could get a hold of Edward Buckley, when you come in for Carver, you immediately know you have arrived in the town of Plymouth. Right up there by Tedeschi's, the road's a mess. And right adjacent to that is the airport, which brings in a lot of money to Plymouth because corporate jets are taking off there all the time. I know it because I live up by there. So if he could get Edward Buckley to get out there and fill in those holes right up there by Tedeschi's. I know Plymouth's got plenty of holes, but those have been there for a long time. And as you know, the airport's a moneymaker in Plymouth. That's the only request I got.
Charlie, is that Carver? What?
That's Plymouth.
It's on the Plymouth Carver line.
In the Plymouth.
Yeah.
And you immediately know you've arrived in Plymouth because Plymouth always has the excuse we've got 400 and something miles of road, which I know they do. But that has been lousy through that area now for quite some time, and it's getting worse.
Charlie, I actually own a business on South Meadow Road called Crayon College, the daycare center across from Masonic Lodge, so I know exactly what you're talking about. And I've had the discussion with DPW, but I'll find out exactly when they're going to be getting to that area of town. But yeah, good point.
Okay, that's I'm great you're going to do that. That'll be good.
Absolutely.
They'll fill in. And actually, they had other problems down the other part of South Meadow Road, and it took a while to fill them in. But holes were down towards, as you're heading towards Plymouth, down farther by Montgomery Drive.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Fill them in finally.
Yep,
but
right.
I hate to say it, but the road patching, there's a lot of scaling in Plymouth.
Yep.
The top layer of asphalt comes off,
and
they're just letting that go everywhere. They don't seem to be fixing the scaling at all.
Well, you know it's all about funding, too, so that's what we're actually looking to try to figure out how we do that with the Chapter 90 money. But there's a plan in place. As you know, they're doing Samoset Street, they're doing the waterfront. So this plan, they did Standish Ave, so there's plans to do more streets over time.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you, Charlie.
Okay, have a nice evening.
Thank you for calling.
You too. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Yeah, he's not alone in saying that. I've heard others say it too. It's reaching all these roads. I mean, some of them are like Beirut.
Look, at people pay taxes, mainly for a couple of reasons, but one is for the roads. They want to make sure the roads are kept up as best they possibly can.
Right.
A lot of the problems have to do with the Chapter 90 funding that comes from the state as well, and how much money they're going to release.
Back.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, we could spend millions and millions of dollars in the budget and still don't have the roads right.
But we don't have millions and millions to spend in the budget.
Right.
But I know what Charlie's talking about.
But JB, the director of DPW, has a good plan. He's really thought it out on how to redo roads and what roads would be done. The roads that are accepted every year as well. How much money we can get for the number of roads that are accepted.
Oh, we have another call. Hello, you're on Talk of the Town.
Evening, Karen and Matt.
Oh, hi, Kevin Doyle.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Good. It's Kevin down at Matt and Matt.
I'll see you tomorrow night.
He will.
He's not on the committee.
Oh, you're not?
No.
No,
but he'll be there.
He'll be there. Okay.
Matt, I have a question, and I wanted to ask this of all the selectmen. From the past town meeting that we just had, I want to ask what your opinion on the issue with conflict of interest and the firefighters contract, because this just came up in the precinct chairs meeting. There was a good discussion on it, but it seems that it's something that's in our charter, yet it's not being addressed, and I'd like to know.
Well, it has been addressed. It is very clear in the state statute, which overrides the town. In the state statute, the town meeting members in this form of town meeting government are exempt from that statute that the town of Plymouth has. They only answer to the voters, so they are allowed to vote on their own contracts, whatever, and that's by state law that allows them to do that.
Mr. Cirque, Richard, says that perhaps we can put teeth into our own bylaw.
Well, yeah, him and I have talked about that, and I agree that there needs to be some accountability for that. I don't think people should be voting on their own
pay.
That they just shouldn't be. But you know what? The state law allows them to do it, and that's why you see some. I applaud the ones that didn't vote on the fireman's contract, but the state law does allow them to do that. So the only thing I don't think we could even. I don't think if we put teeth in it, it will be accepted by the Attorney General's office.
That was my fear.
Yeah, I don't think it will be.
What do you think, Kevin?
Well, you know, we were talking about doing a subcommittee to study it and find out how other towns are dealing with it, and I think that I hope the selectmen back that idea.
I think it's a great idea, absolutely.
And I just think it's something that needs to be addressed. What
Sure.
is our charter if it's going to be overrun by the state every time we turn around? So,
Yep, right, yep.
And one way or the other, it will be cleared up.
And the state charter is an old law, too. It hasn't been changed in years. So there could be something that we petition the state to have it changed on a state level as well. So so I applaud you to actually, you know, get together and come up with some ideas. That would be great.
I can't go on another committee, I'm telling you right now.
I think Mr. Cirque may help you with that, too.
I appreciate your time and all you do, Matt.
Thank you, Kevin.
Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Thank you, Kevin, for calling. Yeah, it's a dilemma, but you know, I understand anybody can run for town meeting. It is an honor to do so.
Absolutely. And they're elected by the people.
And they're elected by the people. And you know, the state says it is what it is.
Yep.
And I say that the subcommittee will either clear it up or not.
There was a training session that Steve Triffolati, the town moderator, put on with Betsy Land, the attorney, back, I think it was January or December. And it was very clear when that came up that is allowed.
Yeah.
That is allowed to do because of this form of government that we have.
I've been on 2 charter commissions.
Right, exactly, yeah.
I know. I know how the government works, too.
If people want to look to change the government, the form of government, then that's a whole different story.
Well,
now, I know there's going to be a charter commission that town moderator is going to be putting together in the next year, so that should be maybe even part of that as well.
Well, see, I love town meeting. I absolutely adore it, and the thing of it is that in the 60s, this happened where the employees came in and just vote. It was an open town meeting. Came in, voted on their pay scale, and left. So they changed it to a representative. And I sure hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So, but we've got a goodie here. You know, I'm torn, Matt. You're on your wonderful chair.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
But I got to push you up.
Thanks. That's the goal. And obviously I'll still be involved in Plymouth. I mean, more so than ever.
My God. You live here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so glad it's only one town too as a state rep.
Yeah.
I'm so glad it's just Plymouth. If it was multiple towns, I probably wouldn't be doing it. But
yeah, that's the rub. Your children would all have to be grown.
Yeah, right.
You know,
right. Yeah.
And it takes a toll.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vinny did it so well.
Yep, absolutely.
And he still ran his business. You know, and I wish the best for Vinny too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Matt, thank you again for coming on.
My pleasure.
And you'll be here next week with
next week,
Belinda is hosting, and Belinda is up for re-election, and we're going to get her re-elected.
See all the signs going out now.
Yep, all the signs are going out. And her guests next week are Mark Garrett, Jonathan Beater, and you.
Yeah.
That'll be great. And I thank again Anthony and Michelle. It was wonderful having them on. They'll be back. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks. I'm not sure who's on. I think Don McCaig is on.
Oh, good.
He's the radio talk show host.
Yeah.
And I thank you so much for tuning in. This hour went by so quickly. See you in 14, but Talk of the Town will see you in 7.